So many historic moments have played out before our eyes in major championships, and today, two of the top players in the world are set to tee off. Rory McIlroy holding a one-shot lead over Martin Kaymer. It's the final round of the U.S. Open Championship at Chambers Bay.
Going into the final round of any golf tournament with a chance to win, especially a major championship, it's a huge buzz. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the best feeling a golfer can have because you're in the mix and you're in with a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It's an incredible feeling. It's something that you may only get to experience a handful of times in your life. So, that atmosphere, you want to soak it in as much as you can and really enjoy it.
Rory McIlroy coming off a strong performance yesterday, now making his way to that first tee box and looking to add another major championship trophy to his already growing collection.
And Rich, there's no doubt both golfers will be nervous until they get that very first tee shot under their belt.
The first tee shot is probably the most difficult because you've been thinking about that shot since the night before. Once you get that first shot out of the way, you calm down, you're a little more settled, you're not quite as anxious or nervous, and you sort of get into the rhythm of the round. You want to get off to the best start possible, and obviously that starts with that first tee shot.
Well, there he is, Rory McIlroy, a past U.S. Open winner, set to tee off on what could be an historic day of golf, set against the beautiful Puget Sound. Oh, come on, that's not even human. That's ridiculous. That is 350-plus yards. Frank, tricky little shot from 145 for McIlroy.
You'd imagine with a little bit of nervous energy, probably only a wedge though for Rory. Just something in between the flag and the bunkers on the right. Use the terrain of the green.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Looks to be a good one, Frank.
Oh, nestles inside 15 feet, so a birdie chance coming up for Rory.
Opportunity to put pressure on Kaymer right out of the gate.
It's uphill, Rich. And it should, if anything, move to the right. Just depends on the speed of this putt, whether it's left edge or outside.
Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Excellent start, Rory McIlroy. What a nice putt.
I think making putts early in a round is very important. It sets the tone for the day and it gives you some positive momentum early. You see the ball go into the hole and it gives you confidence. You face a downhill putt at a US Open with greens that are as tricky as that, it just makes it even more difficult. I feel like you always face important putts no matter when it is, but obviously they're that much more important when it's the final round of a major.
Now over to the second. McIlroy with a challenging downhill putt. And I know it's early, but this is the type of putt that can really generate some momentum for the rest of the day.
Well, this putt's only 12 feet, Rich, but it's downhill. And because of that, it's going to be very, very fast. You're almost going to putt this like it's only about 8 feet long. Allow the speed of the green to take it the extra distance.
Down on the bottom of the barrel. Good start for Rory McIlroy. Back-to-back birdies. So second shot here at the fourth, and this one sets up pretty well for McIlroy, doesn't it, Frank?
It's an easy one for him to work out. A little bit uphill, perhaps a club. And with 165 yards playing closer to 170, 175, still a birdie opportunity. In the direction of the sand.
And looks like it. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Bunker shot coming up now for Rory. How's this part of his game, Frank?
It's certainly improved over the last couple of years, and it really has to, because he plays such an aggressive style of play that you have to accept the miss, just like what we saw in that second shot.
Bunker shot coming up now for Rory. How's this part of his game, Frank?
It's certainly improved over the last couple of years, and it really has to, because he plays such an aggressive style of play that you have to accept the miss, just like what we saw in that second shot. It's a good strike, good swing by McIlroy, and no problem finding the putting surface.
He needs this for bogey. Kind of a tricky read.
There's some times when there might be a wait on a tee box, or you've played your shot and you're waiting on your playing partners to hit their shots, and you just look around and you realize where you are, because you don't really you don't appreciate it that much whenever you're playing, and that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about trying to win a golf tournament and not really taking in the beauty of your surroundings.
Rory set to tee off here on the long par 3 9th hole, appropriately named Olympus for its high perch above the course. Really a stunning view.
It's right now about club selection, whether to hit one or two clubs less than what the yardage is showing right now. We're at least 100 feet above here. And you're going to want to sit up on the left side of that green. Have to avoid that menacing bunker on the right. Should be safely on deck.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. So a tester from 4 feet. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Now it is Martin Kaymer all alone. Not unlike that tree out in the distance. They actually called that one Lone Fir here at 15. So McIlroy is the chaser.
Not an easy chasing, Rich. He has to get this up and down. Very difficult flop shot. It's a high-risk shot. Trying to get that ball up very quickly over the little pot bunker and then somehow get the ball to land soft on these very fast and very firm greens.
And he's made the green.
Rich, you get that feeling. If there's going to be a moment, I think that moment is now.
Trying to clean this up, make his par. Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
He's made it.
Final few holes to play, especially of a major championship like the US Open. It's what you've worked so hard for. It's what you've put all those hours of practice in for, and this is your moment. This is your moment to see what you've got against the best players in the world and test yourself at the ultimate level. There's obviously a lot of pressure. You don't want to let an opportunity like this pass you by. You don't want to let it slip. So just stay really focused, really concentrated. Try to take one shot at a time. Try and put the result out of your mind. Control what you can control. But saying that, it is difficult with so many things going on around you, whether it be the crowd, or it could be the person that you're going up against. There's so many things that you can't control, but the things that you can control, that's what you have to concentrate on, and that's what you have to try and do to the best of your ability. And if you can do that, that's what gives you the best chance to try and win a huge tournament like the US Open.
Well, you couldn't ask for anything more. We're at the 17th. Tie atop the leaderboard. 2 former U.S. Open champions, 2 holes left to play. This is really one of golf's best moments.
And we're looking at 2 of golf's finest, and this hole isn't going to be about power, Rich. It's going to be about precision. And so aptly, this 17th hole is named Derailed. Somebody just might be derailed on this very hole.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Not too unhappy with that, Frank, at 17 feet.
No, from that distance, it's more than good. So McIlroy now just to clean up and stay even with Kaymer.
Come on, don't do that.
Cruel lip out.
And that's a bogey. It really is amazing. You play 71 holes and you get to this point. One left to play. We're all tied. Martin Kaymer, Rory McIlroy, and Frank, what does Rory need to do off the tee?
He has to do what we've become accustomed to, and that's a great drive from Rory. There's 2 bunkers down the left side, plus a enormous amount of sand down the right side. Somehow, split the 2, find the fairway, and this green, this par 5 green, will be in reach.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 3-2. Frank, the great thing about these major championships is the slow build-up to moments just like this, and then it gets really tense.
It's a dream scenario, Rich. You just dream that you're going to have the 2 best players in the game, vying it out, coming down to the very last hole. That's exactly what we have right now. So far, they've provided great golf. It's going to take something even better than that right now to determine who's going to win.
Frank, I think this one's going to miss the fairway.
And he's going to need a little bit of luck here. That was a little over-ambitious.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in.
Can still birdie the closing hole.
McIlroy now trying to apply a little pressure to Martin Kaymer. This is for birdie. Always 2 components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Pretty good effort right there. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
Settles in over the putt. The door was open, but Martin Kaymer slammed it shut. Kaymer, the U.S. Open champion yet again. It came down to the final hole. Kaymer really put on a show. This will forever be remembered as one of the best finishes in major championship history.
Lose a lead or you lose a major, or it doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped. At that moment in time, there's obviously a lot of disappointment, but I think that passes and you use that as motivation for the next one. And that's the only way you can view it. You can't feel sorry for yourself, or you can't get down about it, because what's happened, the past is the past, and you move on. But you use it as motivation not to let it happen again. My toughest loss was the 2011 Masters, when I had a 4-shot lead going into the final round, and you completely blew up on the back 9. It was a very tough moment for me. It was very disappointing, but I used that as motivation to say to myself, that's not going to happen again. That's not the player I am. That's not the player I want to be. I used it in a way that 70 days later, I won my first US Open and my first major. So sometimes disappointments can be catalysts for good things to happen in the future, and it's just how you react to it. And I feel like, if you react to your disappointments in the right way, they can be very beneficial.